Hey everyone, welcome to the Revenue Uncapped podcast where we talk about real agency growth, no fluff, no limits. I'm G Lai, the founder of Tyrion Labs, and we help B2B service businesses to build predictable automated client acquisition engines so that growth becomes a system, not a guessing game. Today, I'm joined by Joe Chandler, US Navy veteran, MBA in marketing, and the founder of Highly Caffeinated Marketing. Joe spent 15 years inside a digital marketing agency, building and selling websites and SEO before making the move to go out on his own as a fractional CMO. He now works with growth-minded businesses that need senior level marketing judgment without cost or complexity or a full-time executive. He's built his own proprietary marketing framework. Think nuclear reaction meets espresso shot. And his whole philosophy sits on one belief: marketing without strategy is just busy work. Joe, welcome to Revenue Uncapped.
Welcome. Very happy to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Awesome, Joe. Joe, you've got one of the most interesting paths to where you are today. Navy to Sony to academia to digital marketing agency to launching your own thing at 58. Take us back. What was the moment or the series of moments that made you decide to stop building someone else's business and start to build yours?
Well, I have this belief that businesses need to move forward with a strategy versus just doing marketing. The turning point was when I realized that my clients did not need another vendor um, just doing marketing. We needed to a senior level clarity that drives the marketing strategy and provides consistency across the platform instead of just posting on social media. Does your post match your website? Does your SEO match your website? Is your website your number one seller? So I was seeing that inconsistency and I said, dude, I got to help people. People need help and to get clarity. So marketing should be make decisions easier, not just calendar killers.
Nice. And like when you say inconsistencies, can you give us some examples where, you've been in an organization and then you've noticed, inconsistency across working with the business?
So, for instance, let's say your website is focused on helping clients solve a problem, but all your social media talks about another problem. It doesn't talk about the problem that your website talks about. Or maybe your website is designed to attract a certain target audience in your branding, but then you go look at your traditional branding, like your print materials, and it doesn't even match your website. It doesn't even say the same thing, let alone the same look. But I do tell people the quick solve is that is it's easier to make uh, your traditional materials look like your website than your website look like your traditional materials. It's easier. So it's always easier if you build your website first and then go build your materials. But
Got it.
it can be very confusing to the target audience because there's one thing we found out. There's two things. One, there used to be 26 seconds to find people to get them to understand. Then the next generation, it got down to 10 seconds. This generation is 3. You have 3 seconds to tell the person on your website what you do. Now, on the other part of that is we have become a very vain nation. And you have, if 26% of people, if they come to your website and they don't like it, will not do business with you. So you may need to make it look good.
That's really interesting statistics for sure. I'd
Yeah.
love to dive a little bit deeper into that. Cool. Joe, you mentioned in one of our earlier calls about, when you were working for other businesses and asking your managers, like, what's the strategy? And they used to just say to you, keep doing the activity. Like, when did you realize that that was your superpower and not just your frustration?
Oh, when I was at Sony, this was like early 2000s. I I kept seeing there was a disconnect between between marketing and sales. And I went to my VP and said, these people aren't talking to each other and they need to understand and communicate. So I came up with the whole strategy of let's build a newsletter that just goes to these two departments where they can talk to each other. So marketing tells them what they want to know and sales tells them what they want to know. So we even went so far as to help sales out in the field make a marketing trifold that they could put in their pocket and pop it out to talk to the salespeople because it was business professionals. So they're talking to ABC, NBC, CONCACAF. CONCACAF is the Caribbean soccer, like FIFA, but it's the Caribbean area, North American Caribbean. But I just couldn't. My mind does not let me do the busy work without knowing why the busy work needs to be done. Okay, I can't sit there and go, I want to make a Facebook post. Does it tie back to anything? Or are we just talking? For instance, I have a client that does podcasts and he goes around to every business in the town and does a show with them. Well, I told him, I said, June 5th is National Donut Day. We need to do a live from each donut store. And he's going to do it. It's going to be fun. We're going to go do a 15-minute live at this one. Then we'll run over to the next one, do a 15-minute live over here. And we're just going to be hitting all the donut shops. It's a
That's a
strategy.
really, it
Let's
is.
promote Donut Day. What's better than Donut Day?
That's a really interesting strategy, and it really just it ties into the day, right, and the event. That's really smart. I love that.
Right.
You mentioned something earlier on our pre-call that I've been thinking about since. This marketing formula that you built. You said it
Yeah.
looks like a chemical reaction. Walk us through it, please. Like, what is it? How does it work? And why did you build it in the first place?
Okay. So I was in the Navy back there in the first Persian Gulf War. That's a long time ago for a lot of people. It's 1990, 91. I ran a nuclear reactor. So I had to learn the periodic table and the reactions to make the ship go through the water. As they call it, make the propeller go roundy roundy. That's Navy term. Oh, I was sitting there and I realized that marketing is like a nuclear reaction. But let's make it about caffeine. But um, a nuclear reaction. So if we look at it, a company has their marketing. You have strategy, you have your content creation, you have your data. You put those together and you will get leads, loyalty, and sales, right? But that's not all. That's the basis. That's the basis. So if I have a strategy and I have my content that matches my strategy and I have the data to support what I'm doing, I'm going to have leads, I'm going to have sales, and I'm going to have customer loyalty. But that doesn't mean it's going to take off. Will it take off in your idea? Does it automatically mean it's going to take off? No. We have to find the neutron for your business. What is the Okay, a nuclear reaction starts with a uranium-235 atom and a neutron. When you slam it, boom, you start the reaction. Okay? And it just, one neutron hits it. When it explodes, it shoots out three neutrons. Those three neutrons hit other uranium atoms and it just keeps going. Okay? So, how can I take your marketing, which is the uranium, and let's look at it this way. Instead of neutron, how can I put caffeine in it? What is the one thing that'll make your business go nuts on caffeine? So my job is to help businesses find that one thing that will set off the reaction and blow up their marketing and make it go nuclear. So we
Love that.
got the basis. Once the foundation's set and that main equation, let's hit it, babe. Bam. Let's slam it into it. And let's inject some caffeine into this life.
Awesome. And what would be like your method of helping businesses to find their caffeine? Just a high level overview, of course.
It's inside the formula. Each company's different. Inside the formula, as we're making sure the formula works and everything's working, we will find it. One company may be the target audience. We need to change it. Another company may be simple as we need to invoke YouTube, or we need to invoke Facebook, or we need to have a press release, or we need to have an event. We need to have a launch event. Some companies just need to go out and say, boom, let's party. It just depends, and we will find it when we're making sure the foundation works.
Nice. Nice. That's really interesting. I suppose like does that data information, that sort of market research, that is that what leads you on to like niching down, refining your messaging, refining your audience? Is that how it works?
Yes. Yes. So you need to think about this. So I worked with a football team, an indoor football team. When we went with them, they said, we asked one simple question. This is what I asked right when I walked in the door. At the time, we were building their website, doing their SEO, and I said, who's your target audience? Well, you're thinking, and they gave the answer that most people would if you're an indoor football team, American football, not world football. Is young males between 20 and 35. Logical, right? I went to the data. I looked at their website traffic. I looked at who was coming to the games, all of that. I found that it was women between the ages of 25 and 40 that are moms that are looking for entertainment for their husbands and family. When we did that, I said, let's do this. Let's have a game targeted to that. So I said, let's try this for one game. We had vendors set up outside designed for the moms. The dads took the kids into the game, the moms shopped. It was a success, and all their marketing changed. They changed everything. So now they're not targeting these young guys, they're targeting the moms and making it where the guys would get interested and the moms would buy the tickets. Their sales tripled in one season. Enough money to get the players to win the championship 2 years later. All you gotta do is look at the data.
Love it. The the secret's in the detail.
Yes.
Awesome. That's a really cool win. That is awesome. So tell me about the business today. Who's it that you mainly help? What besides website SEO, like what else do you provide? And
My services are fractional CMO. I come in and I help companies that need a CMO but don't need one full time. Okay. These are like service providers such as plumbers, HVACs. They can be football teams. They can be baseball teams. Any industry, even a vasectomy reversal doctor. By the way, whose target market is women between 25 and 40 who marry older men with a vasectomy that want to restart a family. So I do that. Also, I do consulting. So some companies don't need me to come in and do run their marketing. They need me to come in and give them advice, and then their marketing runs it. So it's whichever one they need, and I can help either way.
awesome. That's really interesting. And I guess like most people would hear fractional CMO, but don't know really what it means in practice. Like, describe what your week actually looks like for a client. Like, what is it that you own? What do you direct? And where does your responsibility is actually stop?
Well, as a fractional CMO, I'm not there. I'm not on. I'm not the guy that's just there running all the marketing. So meaning that depending on what the business needs, whether they need me 5 hours a month, 10 hours a month, 20 hours a month. I'm not the 40-hour guy. Okay, this is fractional. So I come in, I look at their marketing, and I help their team with their marketing and strategy. I oversee it, and I am the go-between. If it's a fractional CMO deal, I'm the go-between between them and their vendors. However, to remain objective, the business is responsible for handling the payment of the vendors. I need to remain objective. But I come in, and because of what I know, your average CEO does not have time to deal with every vendor. And trying to get the vendor to understand and talk, because the vendor's language, for instance, a digital marketing agency's language is different than the owner's language. So you got to have somebody to go between, such as I'm the rare marketer that can switch from speaking engineer to layman terms and back and forth. So if I need to relay what the average person wants, the business owner wants, I can go talk to the engineer and vice versa. So my week looks like I have scheduled times to sit down with the owner once or twice a month, depending on, or maybe more, where he needs to do, meet with the teams, review what they're doing, and keep everything on. Once the strategy is formed, then keep it all on task.
Nice.
And it can change every week.
Yeah. So there's an interesting part there that I want to dig a little bit further into.
Okay.
You mentioned that like it really depends on what the business needs. In terms of like hours, right? 5 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours a month. How did you come up with that concept? Did you like work from what is it the business wants first, like the goal, and then reversing back into how many hours it would take, or how did you come up with that concept?
So that's basically it. So I go in, we look at the business, we do a strategy overview, and then we decide how many hours they need. Now, I will go to events with people, with owners. So if they're going to a show, I'll go to the show, but that's part of my hours. But we look at what they're going to need and then extrapolate from there. And then if it looks like it's going to be more, we'll talk about it. If it looks like it's going to be less, we'll discuss it. We'll work with an average. And then every month, I'll say, look, we're going to need more hours this month. And then we work through it or whatever. It's a month by month, but overall, I'm pretty good at determining how many hours they're going to need a month.
Beautiful. And
depending on how
y-
well their marketing is. If
yeah,
the marketing's really
not
good, it's less hours.
okay. And realistically, like you mentioned at one time, that you could probably serve 7 to 10 clients a month, right? Depending on hours, obviously. Like, how do you make sure that you don't just end up, doing the execution work again? That sort of trap where you left your agency world to escape.
So I have strict guidelines, and the owners that work with me know immediately where I stand. And if it looks like it's going to cross the line, I will tell the owner. I'm like, look, I can do this, but we're not going to make this regular. And it's a case by case, but I stay in my lanes.
Got it. So set clear boundaries, right?
It's like with your children.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. That's clear. I think that's one thing that a lot of business owners need to probably do more proactively. Like, I had another podcast, another guest, and they said what sets me different was I would jump on a call with them on a Sunday if they needed me. If they
Yeah.
text me on Sunday, I'll get back to them. Is that like, are you making yourself too available?
No, I think it's the customer needs to understand that if it needs to be made clear, I will be there if it's an emergency, but it has to be an emergency. And but this is one thing I learned from my teacher wife. Your inability to plan does not constitute an emergency in my part. So if you did not plan it out, it's not an emergency.
That's great. That's a really, really good advice. Thanks. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for sharing that.
Is this a true emergency, or did you just forget to do something?
Awesome. Good. So, Joe, tell me about, the biggest lesson that you've learned from your whole career, right? I think you mentioned that it was marketing without strategy. It's just busy work. Like,
Yes.
where did that realistically come from? And was there a moment where you saw that play out at full cost? And what did it take from the business when it did?
I have seen it where companies resist clarifying their business, and it if you don't have clarity, nothing is effective. Nothing works. So, for instance, that same football team, they sold the team after we built it up. Well, the new owner didn't have clarity on what we were doing because they didn't ask and didn't pay the bills, and the team folded. So I've seen it collapse because they didn't care about what the other person did before. And you need to understand where it started, how you got there, and what's working. And you got to be clear across the board. But I just want to warn that clarity can be lost easy when you introduce artificial intelligence. So you may think it gets easier, but if you're not clear, you're going to lose everything.
Hmm. Let's expand on that because I think that's really interesting, especially where AI is going today. Like,
Yes,
expand on that if you don't mind. With why do you say with AI clarity can get lost more easily?
because I don't know if you've experienced this. If you're on ChatGPT and you're just sitting there chatting with it, have you noticed that it just forgot something that you just did a while back? And if you don't catch that, you just lost the clarification of your whole thing. You've got to stay on top of it because it will hallucinate. All right. One of the things I found, there are lawyers getting in trouble because they let ChatGPT write stuff for them and it hallucinates and it makes up cases. And if the lawyers don't take the time to research to make sure that's a legitimate case, they could lose their license. So you go out, you use it to write an article that puts data in. What if that data is incorrect? What if you did not take the time to go verify the data? And it may be as simple as, hey, Claude, check what chat wrote and make sure it matches. Verify the numbers. That may be all you need to do. Or you make sure when you write it, it gives you the sources it got it from so you can go check yourself. You have to, you remember President Reagan? I know from the history books, but President Reagan, his most important quote was trust, but verify. If you live by that, everything will go okay. But just know that AI is a tool, not a crutch, and it will make mistakes.
That's a really good lesson for sure. I've seen it hallucinate. It's a lot of times AI where I see it's I wouldn't say a people pleaser, but it's just it just follows along with what you're saying. It doesn't
Right?
really push back or
You can make
be
it.
honest. You can make it. Yeah, if you prompt it
Yeah.
properly, yes, you
Because
can make
if
it.
you put it in there and say, look, I don't want you being nice to me.
Hmm.
This is what I'm thinking. And if I'm off here in La La Land, you need to tell me.
Yeah. That's just one step where people don't understand, right? They think ChatGPT is the brains of the world. It's a supercomputer. It's for the average user, like that's probably really good advice. What you just gave there, verify
No,
everything.
it's really good if you're mad at somebody and you want to send an email. So you put it in voice and you yell all you want and then say, now make that sound like a good email.
It's a personal therapist.
Yeah, write that email where it sounds better, where I don't get fired to my boss.
So Joe, you mentioned that you're building a course right now, right? That's more or less a big goal for you this year. Like, what does that look like? Who is it really for?
My whole idea is the formula, my equation. And my course is going to teach you each piece of the equation from strategy to content to data, and then how that leads to leads, sales, and loyalty. Um, but my course is just going to give you all the foundation. That's what I want you to do. You can do anything if you have the foundation. What you do with it is up to you. I'll give you the foundation. I'll give you a step through each one of them. And for each company, it's different. So you take what I give you, you apply it to your company, and then they go forward to make it work. Now, every company, it's going to be hard to find that piece of caffeine. And sometimes it takes a person like me to help them find that caffeine. And I'll come in and help them find the caffeine real quick. Now, they don't have to hire me as the consultant or all that. They just a one time thing. Because I also provide a basics of evaluating your company for a one time thing. But this, the course is just building the foundation so people that understand. Because colleges and universities teach one thing, but that's book smart. You need real world application. And it takes a lot to move from decaf to caffeinate. If your marketing is decaf, you might as well just throw it in the garbage. You need caffeine in your marketing to make it work. So my courses are going to teach people that. But that's going
Wow.
to be a little bit. It's probably going to be
Hmm.
this fall before my courses come out. It's just
Hmm.
going to take a little time to get them built.
Hmm. That's
So
amazing. Looking forward to that for sure.
I, I want owners to understand this. Okay. There are some things they need to stop doing immediately. Okay. Stop selling a menu before diagnosing the real problem. Okay. Stop confusing busyness with authority. I'm busy, but that doesn't mean you have authority in your business. Stop reporting numbers that the client cannot connect to your business. If they don't understand the numbers, it doesn't mean anything. Stop hiding behind deliverables when the real issue is unclear positioning, weak offer structure, poor follow up, or no decision rhythm. So stop being unclear of what you provide and stop trying to sound bigger than you are. A clear point of view beats a bloated capability list. So basically, a smaller agency with a sharper point of view can beat a larger agency that only sells activity.
That that is sharp. That is sharp.
Right?
I love that. I love that. I really love that. That's really clear.
So a businesses don't need every marketing tactic. It needs the right marketing decision.
Yeah. Yeah. I love how you just summed it all up there for sure.
Yeah.
There will be people that try to sell you everything under the moon, right? And say you
Yes.
need this. But there'll be other people who just know like this is all you need. If you focus on this, you double down this, you reach X result or you double X result. But I love that. That's really clear.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's tough to get owners to change their mind because that's what they were built with. It's are you willing to be taught? Are you open to a new way of thinking? Get 3 years of college in 6 months and tell me if you can't find a new way of thinking. That's what I got in the Navy. I had to think fast.
Yeah. Think fast, get data quick, and make the changes, make the improvements, and go again.
Hey, the quickest way to think is realize that you may be making a decision that's life and death for your business,
Hmm.
not life or death in the military world, but life and death for your business. So you need to know how to think clearly and that your marketing needs to be so clarified that you know where you're going without it's got to be more instinct than worrying about every decision. So if you're clear at the beginning and your strategy is set, there's no it's like going into battle. You don't have a strategy going into the battle, you're done. Everybody needs to
True.
know what everybody's doing and we got it. You don't you don't go into a foxhole not trusting the person next.
Now, I have an interesting thing here for you.
Okay.
You keep mentioning about, finding clarity. Like that obviously comes from like knowing what you want, right? Goal setting. How do you just, in terms of goal setting, how important is it to like really get deep into the goals? Not just like throw a number, oh, I want to triple my revenue this year.
I use the SMART goal setting: specific, measurable, achievable, recordable, and time. Can are they smart? Or can you measure it? Can they achieve it? Is it reachable or recordable? And is there a time factor? If you set those up, then you can say, okay, now what is it going to take to get there? What are the things I need to do to get that? And then you can decide if that's a good goal. If you got a goal that says, hey, I want to be in 30 days, I want to do this, such and such. Okay. And so now you go write the task to get to that goal. Is it feasibly going to be able to be done in 30 days? Can you do it in 30 days? That's the first measurement. How many tasks is it going to take to get there? And is it feasible? You have to look at each one of them. First, is this even a SMART goal? Okay. Okay, now you got to look at it measurable. Is it even going to have activity in the target audience that I have set? Oh, you don't have a target audience defined? Well, we need to push the goal aside and find your target audience. And for each product, some businesses have the same target audience. Some businesses have a different target audience for each product. So that gets complicated. But goals are important, but goals must be SMART and
That makes a lot of
revisited.
sense.
And revisited. You
Yeah.
may have made a goal for a year, but in 6 months, if you don't visit it to see where you are, why'd you even make that goal?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you're going every quarter. Are you making progress toward that goal? Does it need to be adjusted? Is it still feasible? Did the business change where I need to cancel that goal?
Okay. Yeah. That's clear. I mean, like, has there been times where you need to readjust goals for businesses that you've been parts of?
Yes, because businesses change. When I was at Sony, I was there when everything moved from analog to digital. You're talking about changing goals. We went from, hey, we just got to keep them supported with analog to, we got to completely redo every studio with all new products. And trying to support that for NBC, ABC, Fox, all of them. Okay, do you want these cameras? What cameras do you want? Do these make sense? Do these cameras do what you want to do? Do we need to design a new camera for you? I mean, you have to know what each one wants across the board. But
Yeah.
it's not just sales, marketing has to do it too. And marketing has to rely on sales to communicate back where things change. There has to be that open door conversation between sales and marketing. And then the
Yeah.
goals can be adjusted accordingly. And owners cannot live with blinders on.
Mm.
If blinders on, you're done.
Yeah.
So, but
Cool.
I want to say that I found the problem with businesses is rarely effort. The problem is unfocused effort.
That makes a lot of sense. I really love that. Because just because you're moving doesn't mean that you're actually productive. So looking ahead, okay, the next 6 to 12 months, I know you mentioned that you want to start building a course, launching that. Like, what does success, or what would the business highly caffeinated be aiming for in terms of growth over that period of time?
My growth is defined by how many people I can help. I, I mean, I mean, I can do course. I can do speaking engagements. Heck, I taught ninth graders. There's no such thing as being scared in front of ninth graders. They will eat you alive. But moving forward, my business growth is dependent on how many businesses I feel like I can help. And my goal is to be there as many people as I can. And they need to be, I'm dedicated to them. So I ask that every business owner that I work with is dedicated to their business as I am to helping their business.
Like, if you had a magic wand, Joe, that you could, let's say, fix one thing that's either slowing you down or holding you back to that goal that you just mentioned, like, what would that be?
That That's a good hard question because I know that nothing's a magic wand. Um, I wish there was a magic wand and that I could easily know which business right away needs help. Some businesses don't know they need help and they really need help. So I wish I had a magic wand that I go ding and then this light bulb will come up over somebody going, "Hey, me." So it's just me having to ask the right questions. So right now I just have to ask the questions to everybody and see who needs it. A lot of customers don't know. A lot of people don't know. They don't know what they don't know.
Joe, this has been a really great conversation. Before I let you go, where can people find you and who should be reaching out to you?
Okay, you can find me at highlycaffeinatedmarketing.net. And when you go there, you can take the wake up call. This is a free score that you answer the 13 questions, and it'll score you and give you an idea where your marketing is at. But that's highlycaffeinatedmarketing.net. I can also be found on LinkedIn under Joe Chandler and Highly Caffeinated Marketing, or can be found on Facebook as Highly Caffeinated Marketing. I have a little YouTube still being built called Java with Joe. Also, any business that is not sure about their um, marketing and where they stand, just come to me and we'll have a brainstorm. I like brainstorming, but yeah, I can help any business that's not sure if their marketing is effective or clear or has clarity. So let me just come talk to me. Let's talk about it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We will work together and talk through it and decide if I'm a good fit and whether you're, if I'm going to be able to help you.
Awesome. Awesome, Joe. Thank you